from our visit to the bank. How you doing, Mr. Merchant? And I've forgotten your name.
It's okay, Diana Rose.
Diana Rose, okay. They're here to talk to you about the decisions that were made based on your presentation last week. So, all yours.
Good afternoon, everybody, all you guys. I'm very happy and honored to be here with such a great group of students, great group of kids. And actually, the kids who came the other day, last Tuesday, I guess, to our board meeting, did a fantastic job. They actually were very brave. I'm not even that brave in front of our board, as you guys were. You didn't even look nervous. You did a terrific job. And I was wondering, would it be okay, Mr. Salvador, if so I could meet these kids a little bit, that each of them maybe said their name, got up and said their name, because they're all part of this, this whole project you guys are working on. So I'd like to kind of know all of you, and I know you got that.
Stand up.
Yeah,
When
just
it's
go
your
around,
turn,
just
each
say your
person
name.
stand up and say your name.
I'm Kiara Nielsen, and I'm in 6th grade.
Okay.
I'm Olivia Riley, and I'm in 6th grade.
Olivia Fryer, and I'm in 6th grade. Sam Goldrock, and I'm in 6th grade.
Joe Franklin, and I'm in 6th grade.
Sydney Church, and I'm in 5th grade. Justin Gibbon, and I'm in 6th grade.
Caden Vespas, and I'm in 6th grade.
This is Sebastian. Please call the office. Mrs. Sebastian, please call the office.
Ava Maris, and I'm in 6th grade. Christian Muller, and I'm in 6th grade.
Perfect. Thank you. I feel like I know you all even better now. And I saw some of you in your surprise squad video, which was great too, which had a lot of impact on me. And if you kids didn't know, I actually played that video to our board of directors before the four representing your group came in to talk to them. So between that video and the presentation they made, it was terrific. And just so you know, what our board thought was that what you are doing in this community, the amount of work, the two years of work, the design work that you put in to designing the monument you wanted to see there, the memorial you wanted to see there, the commitment, the persistence to stick with what you're doing, because this has taken a long time. You guys all know that better than anybody. But our board thought that was just terrific. And at Jewett City Savings Bank, we really pride ourselves in giving back to the community. We feel that giving back to the community is the best thing that we can do, because that helps the community in so many different ways. And what we give back for are those groups, whether they're organizations or groups who have certain initiatives that make a difference. Anybody who can make a difference to the community makes a difference to us, and that's why we want to support all of those different organizations or initiatives like you guys have been doing for the last couple of years. So with that, they wanted to show their support of your project by giving you a donation. And it's actually coming from two different groups. And when we get to the total, it's coming from Jewett City Savings Bank. But in our bank, we have the bank, and then we have an entity within the bank called the Jewett City Savings Bank Foundation. And the foundation makes awards of grants to nonprofit organizations. So this kind of fits in that category for us. So in order for you to continue to pursue your goal and your dreams of making this memorial a reality, and this memorial has a special meaning, which I might tell you in a few minutes, but what you're doing is not just a school project. This is a community project, and that memorial will last many, many, many years. And I know you in the Surprise Squad video said you want people to sit there and feel the victims, and that I get goosebumps right now just thinking about you saying that. And that's exactly what you guys have been doing, is something so that people sit there one day and they feel what happened, and that we should all never ever forget that day. So what our board of directors has decided to do is, between the Jewett City Savings Bank and the Jewett City Savings Bank Foundation, we are going to give you, towards your project, a donation of $5,000.
Wow.
gotta get all these kids up here and hold that. Somebody. Come on, guys. Somebody stand up.
In the picture, it's your project.
Where's a good spot?
That's good.
The kids all in front. I'm waiting back here somewhere, like Pike. Who's ever in front? A couple guys hold that. Everybody crowd around. Crowd around. Crowd around.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right.
Yeah, need some music.
What's with that? There we go. That's good.
That sounded good.
Good job, guys.
Very good.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Would you mind if we display that at the school?
Absolutely not. Ask Mrs. Rose, she's in charge of all that.
And you'd like it back when we're all done?
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
awesome.
It probably would smudge though.
It is
so-
dry erase, so.
Yeah.
No, we'll put it
I'm wondering, so you reuse the
Yeah,
Okay.
and signatures, the only thing that's
We
permanent
can
here,
put it
so.
somewhere.
I tried to cash them, it doesn't work.
Yeah, we can take it up to the window by the office for a couple weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys, what do you guys have to say?
Thank
We're gonna try to bring this down to cash it.
We can't thank you
awesome.
enough
Oh, you're
for
very welcome.
helping us
It's
to reach
really,
our goals.
it's really our honor to be able to do
You're really
this.
putting us really
One more
close.
photo, guys. So I can post this. Do you want to be in there too?
I do not.
Thank you so much for asking.
Come on, Diana.
Just to kind of bring everybody up to
Salvador, get in
speed.
it.
No, this is about you guys. This is about you guys. To bring everybody up to speed, our Facebook, our GoFundMe page is up to 7,100. We just received a check from the Griswold Fire Department, which now brings us up to 8,100. Plus, there's roughly $300 additional in the donations that are here at the school. So now we're up to 8,400. Guys, do the math. Where are we now?
13,400.
And I have one more surprise.
Oh, there's another surprise, so we're not done yet.
Yeah. so
13,400 and climbing.
I have another envelope that is on behalf of my wife Lori and I. And there's a special meaning to that one because I talked to Mrs. Salvador back at I think over the phone
Yes,
the other day. And
yeah.
this is GR.
Yeah.
Over the phone. And this other check, not as much, but it's going to be for $1,000. So we got an
Wow.
extra $1,000. And the special meaning behind that is that, oh boy.
Hang on a second, because this is certainly worth saving. No pressure.
No. The special meaning behind the additional check is that my very good friend and college roommate died on 9/11. He was in the first tower. Story goes behind it. He went to St. Bernard High School. He grew up in New London, local. He and I went to Central Connecticut. At the time, it was State College, not State University, but he went to Central Connecticut State College. We roomed together in the dorm. We roomed together off campus. Very good friends. And both graduated together. He majored in marketing. I majored in business. And left school. He married his high school sweetheart. Went to his wedding, seen each other many times over the years. And he was working for a company called Marsh & McLennan, and they were a financial services company, but their primary business was insurance. And his office was in downtown Hartford. But one day a week, he had to go to New York City to their corporate offices, which were in the World Trade Center. And the day he went every week was a Tuesday, and that was the day of 9/11. And a little bit of the story was he left that morning, went down on the train like he normally does. The routine was he would get into the city, he would call his wife to let her know that he got there okay. And he called her at 8 o'clock, around 8 o'clock that morning. And he didn't say over the phone that he was in his office, but from the caller ID, she knew he was in his office. And his office was on the 99th floor of the first tower. And if everybody remembers, the plane hit at 8:46 about the 93rd floor of the tower. And Marsh and McLennan, his company, actually had offices between the 93rd and the 100th floor. So that plane came in right about where their offices were, and all the offices that they used were above that. And Marsh and McLennan had 295 employees in those offices on that morning, and no one survived. Not one of the Marsh and McLennan employees survived. So that was a very tough time. He had two sons, and they were 21 and 17 at the time. He was 47 years old at the time. So for the past 17 years, I think about him often. I think about what happened often. And when you guys came up with this idea and we started learning about what you're doing, I thought this was a terrific opportunity for me to take advantage of memorializing my friend. His name was Jim Hoban. We used to call him Hobie for short. But I thought this was a great opportunity for me to do something positive to remember him. And the fact is that this will remember him for years and years and years to come. So I just want to thank you guys for giving me this opportunity. For me, it's almost like a closure that I could be part of this memorial in some small way. So I just want to thank you for that. And I do have a $1,000 check too. So
We can't thank you enough,
Oh, you're
really.
welcome. Here are the real checks. This is all you have to come. So.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for allowing us to participate. This is great for us because we can do one more thing to kind of give back and support the community, especially since you guys have worked so incredibly hard. You deserve everything that you can possibly get out of this. It'll make a difference in your lives. It'll make a difference in many, many people's lives, and certainly make a difference in this community by putting that memorial out there for people to actually, share and feel for many years to come. So thank you for having us.
One of the things that the kids don't know because they weren't alive at the time, but we can all remember how this whole event brought the country together. And I think that their project is bringing this community together in a pretty unique ways. It's going to be a lasting thing that will bring people together for many, many years to come. You guys are making a big difference.
Certainly. Very nice. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for
You're welcome.
coming and.
You're welcome. Well, thanks for having us. I remember when that happened. That's my daughter Kristen's in here. I remember when that happened.
I didn't realize the connection.
Yeah. They stopped all airlines, and we around here in such a path from Boston to New York. There's always planes going over. And I remember taking Kristen and her younger daughter Lindsay outside that night and looking up in the sky and say, you may never see another time like this when there's absolutely nothing. There's no plane, no sound, nothing. And it was just eerie. Of course, the whole thing was eerie,
Yeah.
but not having any air,
I had a sister who was stranded in Dallas because they shut the plane. I think it was a couple days before they allowed flights
Yeah,
again.
I think you're right.
She drove home.
That was a very scary time.